Okay, in this module, we're going to talk about getting into the seller's mindset. When I say that, you've got to get into the right mindset when you're selling a house, right? You're going through, it's you buy a home, you sell a house. That's got to be your mindset. And you've got to get into the mindset where you're going to take care of business. It's been your home. There's emotional attachment to it, no doubt. But you have to leave those emotions out of it when you're negotiating with the buyer that sent you an offer and you're going to make a counter offer, you're considering the counter offer. Keep the emotions at bay, keep them out of it. That way you can stay focused and clear on what you're doing here. So in getting in the seller's mindset, start packing, right? A seller's mindset is I'm moving. So knowing that you're moving, move. Start packing. Get moved mentally. Put things in boxes, clear your house out, open up the closets, get rid of some of the clothes in there. As you do this, the space grows, right? You've got all your clothes in the closet, you're selling in the spring. You don't need the winter clothes. Box them up, get them ready for the move. Stack them neatly in the garage. You want things to look neat, don't have these boxes throughout your house. As you pack them up, stack them, put them in a corner of the garage, and stack them up neatly so when they go out to the garage, a buyer sees that and that looks okay too. They're going to know, okay, hey, they got boxes, they're ready to move. So part of that getting in the seller's mindset is moving. Box up your things, get ready to move. As you do that, you're doing yourself a big favor. A buyer's going to look in your cabinets. When they look in your cabinets and it's full of pots and pans, that doesn't look like they have much room for their stuff, right? As you're boxing stuff up and just leaving the 2 or 3 pans that you use all the time, that's fine. That cupboard looks like it's got all sorts of room in it now. So little things like that make a huge difference. So part of the seller's mindset, you're moving, box things up. On showing your house, show your house to its full potential. I mentioned before, light and bright. Open the windows, open the blinds, have your windows cleaned. Most people don't do that. Have those windows cleaned because a clean window lets in all that sunlight, right? So you open your blinds, you open your drapes, you have clean windows, all that sunshine is coming in there. It makes the house light and bright. Another trick, and this is a good one, go to a model home if you don't believe me. None of the windows have screens on them. Because when you're looking out the glass and there's screen, your eye stops. You look through the screen, but your eye still stops. When you take the screen off, your eyes continue to go. So you're looking at more space. It also allows more light to come in the house. If you're not used to opening up your windows anyway, or certain windows don't get opened, take the screens off of those. Again, stack them neatly in the garage. Put them up in the rafters of the garage. You want them somewhere where they're going to be accessible and be able to put back on the house when you get an offer. Oftentimes before the appraisal, you want to go ahead and put the window screens back on because an appraiser sometimes will have to know whether or not the screens are on there. Different loan programs could make that as part of their rules or their guidelines. It has to be. But when you're showing the house, pop those screens off. Let those eyes go out. Let that light come in. Light and bright. Huge deal. When you're getting ready to sell the house and you're putting it on the market, something I want to encourage you to do is I want you to get a visualization. Not physically, but I want you to kind of picture who's your buyers. What do they do for a living? How much money do they make? Is it a couple that's going to buy the house? Maybe it's going to be a couple with a young child. Just kind of wrap your mind around who is this buyer that's going to come and buy your house? Where were you at in your life when you bought that house? Okay, I want you to consider these things because when they make you an offer and you go to counter offer, I want you to keep these things in mind. Did they give you the best offer? And when they say that they want you to put a new stove in, and you know the stove's been there for 15 years, it's outdated, but hey, to you it still works. When you know who your buyer is, you have a better idea of where they're at financially. And when they're asking for a new stove, it's not to be petty. They're asking for a new stove because after they spend every penny they can to buy your house, they don't have any money to go buy a stove. So in doing that, you can sit here and think, is it worth me to go spend the $450 and put a new stove in here? Sure. Sure, I'll go ahead and do that because I understand where they're coming from. That's what I mean about wrapping your mind around who your buyer is. That's a really important thing to think about. Now, you don't have to go out and run buy that new stove on the first day that you accept the offer. You can say, I'll have a new stove in here by the time you buy the house, by the time we close. That way, if there's a hiccup and that buyer falls out, you didn't go out and spend money on a stove. But wrap your mind around who that buyer is, what their life looks like. That way, when you're going through the negotiation process, that's something that's really going to help you. Okay, getting in a seller's mindset. You can do it. You can get the thing sold. We'll see you in the next module.